Well, yeah, I'm gonna just start with the caucus. So just so you know, this is strictly about the caucus. It's not about anything else. So if I decline to answer, I'm strictly talking about the caucus at this moment. And then y'all will get more interviews out of me. As long as y'all good to me, I'll be good to you. I have no issues. I just wanted
Got
people
that
to
hair
say
laid.
my side of
That's
the
for
story
sure.
and not just paint me as bad news, because it's not the truth, and y'all been witnessing it yourselves at the caucus. So that's kind of what's going on and been going on. So I pray that you pay attention to other people's, I don't want to say drama, but situations.
Was it rigged? I mean, what happened Tuesday night?
Yes, it's election rigging at its finest. So we got there at about 4:30. Some got there right before 5. When we tried to enter into the building, they told us we cannot come in because they had a party going on at 5 o'clock. Residents from throughout Thornton Township showed up in drones. We had buses out there, cars. You know, it was super cold. I know I ran into you outside, and I was out there with them. They didn't even let me in. So when I did try to go in originally around 5, they told me they had a party and we cannot enter into the building. I asked, can you please let the residents inside the building? They said, no, they have a party. I said, but this is our residents. Let them in. They said, no, they did not register for the party. I felt that was so disheartening because at the end of the day, this is somebody's mom, auntie, cousin, uncle. You should let them in. It was cold outside, super cold. So I had a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult conversation to have when you don't necessarily agree with the job that she's been doing and how she's been promoting herself all throughout her tenure as a supervisor and as mayor. So we're just going to speak about it from the supervisor's perspective because that's what she's talking about. Because I have to be objective. And I know that it's very difficult for people to be objective. And I got to be objective because I didn't like it. For example, when we talking about the presidential election, I didn't like it when they started to have election interference from Trump's perspective. And I don't like it when it happens on a local level because I'm a major advocate for participating at the local level. And if it's corrupt at the local level, whether it's the legislated official that you voted in or the election process, that's a problem. Now, of course, there's going to be people that say, well, I don't like her, or they feel like she stole, or she did a bad job, or whatever you want to frame it as. Then that's why you should have participated in the election process to prevent them from getting in the first place. However, we have to maintain integrity with the election process because it doesn't just swing one way, it swings both ways. And if you complain about it on one side, then you'd have to complain about it on the other side. I'll give you an example, right? I'm an advocate for free speech, not only when it comes to conservatives, but I'm an advocate for free speech when it comes to everybody because I wouldn't want it done to me, so I'm not going to advocate for it to be done to somebody else. I don't want people losing their platforms. I don't want people getting demonetized. I don't want people being shut up, hushed up, silenced. I'd rather debate them and beat them on an equal playing field than to sit here and find some caveat to say, hey, we having a party or whatever. And I absolutely believe her because this is a story that's been corroborated with multiple people prior to her having, actually jumping on here and having this conversation. So again, I have to be objective. And one of the reasons why I'm huge on being objective, as well as being consistent across the board, whether you're Democrat or Republican. And again, I'm going to back this up by saying that I'm not a Tiffany Henyard advocate. I've done so many different shows holding her accountable and saying that she's the worst mayor in America and all of this stuff. But objectively speaking, the reason that is because, and I use this example on the Millionaire Morning Show, is that just because you get her out there by circumventing the process that's supposed to happen and they want to bring in some old election rules and don't even abide by them, it's similar to what happens in Chicago when you get Lori Lightfoot and people hated Lori Lightfoot and they hated the fact that they elected her based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion and because she was going to be the first woman, gay, black mayor and all of this other kind of crap, right? Triple, quadruple minority. But then you got Brandon Johnson, and now he's 10 times worse than Lori Lightfoot is. And so just because you remove her because you're emotional, don't mean that you're actually making the best decision from the person that then decided to circumvent the process again. Because if you get somebody in there that's similar, a little bit better, or even worse, it doesn't solve for the fundamental problem of why and how you're electing these people based off of misinformation, being misinformed, and only because you're emotional. And so you have to make informed decisions while protecting the electoral process so that we can then have a smart constituency, smart legislators, smart residents, informed residents that's participating in the process, not just because y'all getting a lot of coverage from a bunch of vloggers like myself that is bringing visibility to what happens in your town. And so in this instance, she is right.
Your name ever on the ballot? Did they ever actually, say Tiffany Henyard and they vote on it, or no?
No, no one had the opportunity to basically be a nominee, and that's where they messed up at. You're supposed to allow anybody that wants to run for office
That's
the
correct.
opportunity to nominate themselves, let alone a slate, let alone anybody in the room can say, hey, I nominate myself for supervisor, I nominate myself for clerk. But they didn't give anybody the opportunity to do that. He only nominated himself and his slate, which was wrong. And I was fighting for my people to get in the building because it was cold outside.
And you know, the worst part about that is, first of all, I thought that you were supposed to always have a space where there's enough room for everybody to be able to participate that wants to participate in that particular township. That's number one. And number two, the reason that I know she's telling the truth is not because I think that she has so much integrity, is because the meeting only lasted 7 minutes. The meeting literally only lasted 7 minutes. Yep, I did the research. Yep, I went through and looked at all of the interviews. Yep, I went through on TikTok and looked at everybody that was recorded in and uploaded it. Yep, I looked at all of that stuff. If the meeting only lasts 7 minutes and you only nominate yourself and then you circumvent the process, you're basically having election interference, and all you're doing is setting yourself up for a bunch of lawsuits, a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, challenges in the process. And it just ruins the whole situation, and it sets the precedent for what's to come and showcases why it's a clown show in Thornton Township in the first place.
Nobody stood up to nominate you.
Well, we did. If you watch the tape, I nominated myself.
Is that what you were saying to Napoleon Harris from the board? We couldn't hear you.
Yes. Somebody got it on tape. I had saw the video, and also my team have it on the tape. If you want the footage, we'll give it to you. But he did not acknowledge anyone or anybody's demand. I was the only one that stood up to him. As you guys know, I am a fighter. I would not be bullied. I would not let people do voter suppression. That was the biggest voter suppression I've ever seen. And we talk about history, right? Every time we talk about history, we're talking about people that fought for the right to vote. But yet, they didn't have the right to vote this time. Why? Why is that? Why mute the votes? Why mute the voices? Why mute the
Hey, you should be
presidents?
able to beat her.
I have a problem with that, because if he thought he was going to win, he would have let him in. But he didn't, because it was my base that was outside, because we couldn't get in.
He should have never did this in the first place. He should have just went with the normal process that's been happening over the last 30 years. And he should have just beat her. And nobody even knows who this guy is. They don't know what he's running on. They don't know what his platform is. They don't know what he's going to do for Thornton Township. They don't know anything. All they did is just go with him because they went against her, which is the same thing that they did. I hate even having this conversation. Can't believe I'm even having this conversation right now. I can't believe I'm having this conversation, but I know it's going to be people emotional inside of the comments, again, because they don't like her. But most of those type of people don't even show up to the polls to vote in the first place. Just beat her. If you think you better than her, debate her, beat her, run a better campaign than her, raise more money than her, get the people behind you and beat her. That's it. You don't have to have a 7-minute meeting and then cloak it as you having a party and then circumvent the process and then think that you're going to get away with it. That shows that you shouldn't be in there either. She shouldn't be in there. You shouldn't be in there. Y'all need to have better people in there. And as a matter of fact, y'all need to consider a Republican nominee.
He said, and I quote, "We are not letting anybody in until 6:30. 6:30 came, we were still outside. So when I finally got in, because people let me through the line, that's the only way I got in the building. Other than that, I would have been outside still with the people."
An attorney for Mr. Harris says you were not qualified because you didn't have a certified assessor on your ticket. What do you say to that?
That's not true. How would anybody know that if you didn't give me opportunity to make my nominations? People can't just assume what they think I have. I have to make the nominations on the floor before someone can say that I didn't have something. That's not true.
What's next? How do you fight it?
So we will be in court. This is a legal battle.
See, now you got to take up more resources from the township, from the county, from wherever, and it takes more taxpayer dollars, and you know she's not going away, so you might as well just beat her fair and square. But now y'all taxpayers, y'all stupid. It's the dumbest junk that I've ever seen before. Now the taxpayers is paying for more because now you got to go through the court process, And you're probably going to lose based off of what it is that I've seen. You're probably going to lose.
Everybody has been calling us, saying they're going to stand with Tiffany Henyard. I appreciate that. Even the naysayers said they're going to stand with me because people like righteousness. They don't like this
She's probably referring to me, to be honest with you.
wrong way of dictatorship for government. That is not how you take over things. It was a hostile takeover. And the media was all out there. Y'all saw it firsthand. No one should ever get the opportunity to sit there and be a dictator in a community where you govern everybody. And that's why I told, I think it was Channel 32, that he's a coward. He did not want to face me head up. He knew
Can't believe
that
she
I
right
was
on
going
this
to
one.
dominate in that room.
Can't
and
believe
that's why
she
he did
right
not
on
allow
this one.
my residents inside of the building.
What do you say to the allegations from Nikita Cloud that you tried to disrupt the event by mentioning yourself possibly a bomb threat, or the allegation that Mr. Price called and tried to cancel the event?
So,
Don't we
to
know,
people
Keita?
that's got all these false accusations, false
Nikita Cloud?
statements, I am suing for
her on
defamation
the
of
phone. I
character.
wanna interview
I
her.
am suing because that is not true. Be able to back up what you report. And that's what I tell everybody. Everybody using my name and my face for views and clicks, but no one got facts. Everything y'all been doing has been smear campaign, and I have a problem with that. And
I'm
that's
going to
why
get Nikita Cloud up here. They're asking questions. I actually know her. We interviewed on my platform on the Millionaire Morning Show before. I'm going to get Keita up and we're going to have a conversation.
I come out and I speak with you guys because you don't want to fact check. That's one thing I love about Nate. Nate came and sat down with me. He fact checked. We give him the information, he go check it. He don't just run a story just because. And that's why I ask all y'all to do, at least be fair in the reporting. Because people look up to your stations. You are news. Northwest, East, South, you are the news. But yet, you guys are reporting off of drama. I don't like it. It's not a reality show, but y'all making it as that.
She's right. I mean, she's right. Honest to God, she's right. So you got to be objective enough to report it on both sides. Even when I do the Millionaire Morning Show, I get it from all sides. I get it from Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, local shows, vloggers, everything. And then I source it and I come up with my own opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I kind of already know what y'all going to say, but I want to know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Just dropped the video yesterday. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. And then last but not least, make sure you guys get your tickets. Come and kick it with me December 14th in Detroit. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.